Hello again, and thanks very much for joining us on Here Business Stories at this hour. I'm Michael Nath. Nigeria's inflation rate has surged further to 20.52% in the month of August 2022 from 19.64% recorded in the previous month. This represents the highest rate since September 2005. The recently released Consumer Price Index report by the National Bureau of Statistics showed that Nigeria's CPI rose by 20.52% year-on-year in August 2022. On a month-on-month basis, the index rose by 1.77% compared to the 1.82% increase recorded in the previous month. Also, the urban inflation rate stood at 20.95%, which was 3.36% higher compared to the 17.59% recorded in August 2021. The rural inflation rate in August 2022 was 20.12% on a year-on-year basis. This was 3.69% higher compared to the 16.43% recorded in August 2021. The closely watched indicator, food inflation, rose to 23.12% in August 2022, representing a 1.1% point increase compared to 22.02% recorded in the previous month. On a month-on-month basis, the food inflation rate in July stood at 1.98%, which is 0.07% lower than the 2.04% recorded in the previous month. According to the NBS, the rise in food inflation was caused by increases in prices of bread and cereals, food products, potatoes, yam and other tubers, fish, meat, oil and fat. President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to present the 2023 budget estimate to a joint session of the National Assembly the first week of next month. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, said on Wednesday. The Speaker, who was responding to questions from reporters after inspecting ongoing renovation work at the House, as well as the temporary chamber that will be used by the lawmakers upon resumption next week, was however silent on the modality the budget presentation will take. Gbajabiamila, however, called for the speedy completion of the ongoing renovation ahead of the delivery deadline of last month, while confirming that the chamber may also not be ready for the inauguration of the 10th Assembly in the June 2023. Now, he said that a speedy completion of the work must, however, not compromise the quality of the work to be delivered, adding that though the renovation, which began last month, had progressed well, he would still ask the project managers to speed up the pace and beat the deadline. The 8 oil-producing states in Nigeria received a sum of 377.93 billion naira as a 13% oil derivation fund in the first half of the 2022. The states are Abia, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Delta, Edo, Imo, Ondo, and Rivers. The amount received in the review period is 46.9% higher than the 257.2 billion naira shared in the second half of 2021, and a 97.4% increase when compared to the corresponding period of 2021. A further breakdown of the data showed that Delta State received the largest share during the period, accounting for 30.4% of the total amount shared by the 8 states. In terms of year-on-year increase, Edo State recorded the highest increase in their inflows, increasing by 160.5% year-on-year. The Nigeria Customs Service intercepted 2 tankers laden with poorly produced 80,055 liters of automotive gas oil, popularly called diesel, in the Ijebu-Ode area of Ogun State. The acting customs area controller in charge of the Federal Operations Unit, Zone A, Hussein Ejibun, disclosed this while handing over the products to the officials of the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency. Ejibono said that the drivers of the trucks escaped upon sighting customs officers on patrol. After a careful study of the documents being used to convey the products and analysis of samples, it was discovered that the papers were forged and the diesel was of poor standards. He said the NCS wrote to NMDPRA to verify the status of the products and the authenticity of documents found in the vehicles, but they were both confirmed to be fake. Giving a breakdown of the seizures and particulars of means of conveyance, the acting controller said one of the tankers with registration number DBT 599XA was laden with 44,450 liters, while the other one with registration number USL 561ZC had 35,605 liters of the AGO. Vice President Professor OSINBAJO has stressed that the use of gas as a transition fuel would not only help in stemming deforestation, but also advance Nigeria's broader development goals, especially as Nigeria has one of the largest gas reserves in the world. According to him, other developing countries would also benefit from the adoption of gas as a transition fuel. Speaking while playing host at the State House, Abuja, to the U.S. Special Presidential Envoy on Climate Change, John Kerry, who is on a working visit to Nigeria, the Vice President highlighted the need for Nigeria to continue the exploration and use of gas as a way of arresting deforestation, transiting away from dirtier fuels like diesel, kerosene, and petrol, while at the same time ensuring that the country has the necessary energy baseload for industrialization. Pointing out that Nigeria has one of the largest gas reserves in the world and should benefit from its exploitation, OSINBAJO also highlighted the significance of Nigeria's energy transition plan, which is the first in Africa. A grant agreement was signed between the Nigerian government and the French Development Agency to strengthen the power grid across Nigeria's northwest zone. Nigeria's Minister of State for Budget and Planning, Prince Clement Awa, and the AFD Country Director, Xavier Maron, signed the agreement with the French Ambassador to Nigeria, Emmanuela Blattman, and the Head of Cooperation at the European Union Delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Cecil Tassil Pels, as witnesses. A statement released by the French Embassy states that the funding will help provide more than 800 kilometers of 330 kV double-circuit transmission lines and construct or upgrade 13 substations in Nigeria's northwestern states. The North-centric project is jointly funded by the European Union and the AFD. There will be a positive ripple effect of Nigeria's economy if the country can slash down its oversized ministries, departments, and agencies. This is according to an expert chartered accountant, Akin Fatunke. Speaking on IBrand's Business Breakfast, he said there would be remedies to the country's dwindling revenue if the Nigerian Senate goes ahead with plans to cut down the number of operating MDAs across the federal and state government levels. This is coming amid a proposal by the Stephen Orasaya-led Presidential Committee on Agencies Rationalization to cut down 541 MDAs in the country to 141.
One of the first that is going to happen under a disciplined, transparent rendition will be to jack up the capacity of these MDAs to raise their revenues. And those revenues will be accounted for. So that is one. Number two, we'll now bring in efficiency that will have a ratchet effect, as we say in economics, on the other sectors of Nigeria. SMEs will thereby grow by some leaps and bounds in there, and the almighty, I call it the almighty foreign direct investments will also now begin to see some of the changes that we are beginning to envisage, and then bring in additional monies. Such rationalization at the end of the day is also expected to help wipe away those workers that has consistently dovetailed the Nigerians back all of the time.
Right.
I also expect to now then see what to call technology transfer. By that I mean the local content will now be enhanced by people who have always, outside the shores of Nigeria, seen Nigeria as a giant in the sun with so much potential.
Former Vice President and presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, ATIKU Abubakar, has attributed over the lack of investors and confidence in the country to bad government policies. The presidential candidate of the main opposition party in the country made this known at a private economic forum on the 2023 presidential election in Lagos State. Ibuje Ikoria tells us more.
Stakeholders at the meeting organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, former Vice President of Nigeria and People's Democratic Party's candidate Atiku Abubakar said there is need to look into any requests made by the private sector in the country, especially in the area of tax relaxation, boosting the economy and ensuring inflow of foreign direct investment, amongst others.
The private sector is key to any government's development agenda and must always be listening to. For those who do not realize the criticality of the private sector in Nigeria's development, the following will whet your appetite. According to the National Bureau of Statistics data, the public sector accounts for only 7.5% and the private sector 78.9% of national consumption expenditure. Similarly, with investment expenditure, a major source of economic growth, government investment is only around a quarter of that of the private sector. Indeed, 85% of the investments in the medium-term National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 are envisaged to be private sector funded.
The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Labour Party candidate Mr. Peter Obi, and those of other political parties are also expected on the platform soon. Ibuji Ikoria, reporting for IBrandTV News.
Amid operational headwinds, the Securities and Exchange Commission said it has so far committed the sum of 1.588 billion naira to the federal government in the 6 months of 2022. This was even as it pleaded with the federal government to see ways to reduce its dues deduction by 40%. Director General Sek Lamido Yuguda stated this at the 2023-25 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework Fiscal Strategy Paper, MTEF-FSP, interactive session with the Senate Committee on Finance in Abuja, whilst pointing out that the Commission is a 100% self-funded agency of government and pays dues to the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the federal government under the Finance Act 2020. That has amended the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2007. Yuguda revealed that by the provision of the Act, SEC has committed the sum of 1.588 billion naira for the 6 months ending June 2022. According to him, the Commission committed the sum of 1.37 billion naira and 3.71 billion naira in the whole of 2021 and 2020, respectively, from the time the deductions started. While admitting that the Commission has recorded a major turnaround in its fortunes, Yuguda, however, stated that a 40% contribution to CRF might be too high for the SEC and urged the senators to take a second look. Still to come, UK inflation slows down to 9.9% in August. Details of this and more after this commercial break. Stay with us.